you want me to go?
Hey.
Hello, my name is Charlie Webb. I'm a writer and narrative designer for games.
Hey, my name is Dee, aka Indidi. I am an agency owner, content creator, a D of all trades.
Hi, my name is Hoon Ali. I am a game developer lecturer. I'm
That was a blue still.
My name is Christopher White. I am the managing director of the game studio Shark Swim Backwards.
Okay, I'll do a slow-mo one for you. Hi, I'm Haz Dalal. I'm the founder of Beyond the Pixels, a transmedia company producing video games, film, and TV shows.
Hello, my name is Jennifer Estaris, and I work on games about social impact and purpose and transformation.
Hello, my name is Sarah Veal, and I'm the chair of GamesAid, which is the UK games industry's charity. I am also community producer for Tapestry Electric.
Hello, my name is Charmy. I am a game lead at a mobile games company called Supercell.
Today, I've had the honor to be part of Ensemble 2026.
Yes, I got all gussied up. I don't normally wear this evening gown or get my makeup done or wear jewelry, but today it's like being pampered or being glammed up.
We've been styled, we've had our hair and makeup done, we've got to hang out with each other.
It's been fun. It's very different from my usual day-to-day.
I'm trying to remember everyone's names now. I'm so bad at remembering names.
You got Chris, who does amazing audio. You got Haroon, who teaches.
Charlie, who's a narrative designer.
Haz, he's like a games developer.
Charmy from Supercell. And Jennifer from Us Two Games.
And you've got Dee does community. And this is everyone just does a mix of different things.
To be honest, I want to do it over and over and over again as many times as possible. It was brilliant.
So as far as these photos that are being taken today, they're actually going to be displayed as part of the London Games Festival.
It's going to be cool to see how people engage with not just the photos, but I believe there's a little bit of bios about each person.
They'll also appear in other key places, like perhaps on the beach at Brighton during Develop.
You know, when I heard that the photos are going to be blown poster size, it's going to be in Trafalgar Square, it's going to be at Develop, it's going to be everywhere. I mean, I don't think I'm ever going to get an opportunity like this. This is the closest to being a freaking superstar celebrity.
What I hope this year's Ensemble achieves is just visibility, and I think that's what it's really all about.
What I would consider success is to try and inspire other people from different backgrounds to take a step into the game industry.
Maybe some people might think that, oh, maybe the games industry isn't for them because they don't see themselves in there. So I think like stuff like Ensemble really kind of showcases the beauty and the variety of the game industry, that anyone can be a part of the games industry.
Giving people that hope and belief that they can actually push to where they want to go and what their goals are.
If you want to be here, there's a place for you here.
So my writer and narrative designer origin story is 20 years ago, I answered a Craigslist ad for a small mobile company looking for writers. It was very unorthodox at the time to hire people that way, but I joined a writer's room where we were making story-based games. And I've just been doing that ever since for 2 decades.
Tony DeRazio just kissed the pavement outside the Royal Hotel.
Everywhere from Hangar 13 Games to Rocksteady.
Interestingly, I found that
One of my favorite jobs writing, and also one of my most stressful ones, was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League.
already did this bit.
It's actually the reason I moved here to the UK 6 years ago.
Enhancing the power of the battery.
It's a very dialogue-intensive game.
How about a team up?
Lots of really interesting, fun, and compelling characters.
Guess those teeth are sharper than your eyes, Shark Man.
I really, really wish more people had an opportunity to play it. Could I quote you any lines of dialogue? No. I'm the kind of writer who finishes a project and then moves on, just kind of shunts everything out of my brain so that I can start absorbing the next project.
It's not an easy thing making games from scratch, especially trying to get it to launch. There's a lot of hurdles along the way, and I find that my optimism and empathy gets the team through a lot of that. So I'm working in a team making new games at Supercell, and I lead the team, and it's a team of 14 people right now. The games I've previously worked on is BeatStar, which was a mobile music game, and before that, Rival Kingdoms, Samurai Siege, to name a few. I think in a lot of industries, there can be a lot of trickery or selling style over substance. Whereas in games, it's very honest. They're having fun or they're not, and that's it. And I love that about it.
The name of my studio is Sharks Swim Backwards. I'm a shark fanatic, I love sharks, but really and truly, sharks don't swim backwards. I like the idea of evolution and learning new things. I'm originally from a musical background. There was no university course to make sound or music video games, so I bootstrapped it. I went to university, studied music composition as my main project. The game industry at that time, like it is now, is in a turbulent situation. So I took it upon myself to start a company to deliver music and sound to video games. That went quite successfully. I met a lot of contemporaries, peers and clients, and that was kind of my foot into the industry. After leaving my startup company, I opted to join a friend's studio. And he was working a lot with VR titles at that point in time, which again was quite a cutting edge thing. I loved that experience. We were working on new, literally hadn't been seen before headsets, the Oculus Quest, the Oculus Go.
Your journey with us starts today.
One of the reasons I really love working in the industry, because games is always moving a lightning pace. Every day is something new. Someone discovers a new way to do something or a better way to do something, and it's really exciting to me to, get my head around.
Oh, my journey. How much time do you have? Honestly, I started in 2006 as a QA tester for Sega. I've worked for so many different gaming companies, indie devs and e-commerce places.
Hey everybody, welcome to the channel.
I started content creating on Twitch, just playing video games with friends.
My name is Ndidi and I am a variety streamer from the UK. Big love to all of you guys.
Eventually made it up to Twitch partner and now Twitch ambassador, and decided that I wanted to help people. So that's when I created my agency Beyond, which helps content creators all over the globe find themselves, find their voice and help rebrand them. And when I'm not doing any of that, I'm planning events. So yeah, I'd say I'm a little bit busy, just smidgen.
I just always loved the idea of playing video games and making them, but I just didn't know there was a job. I also equally loved the movies, like movies like Blade Runner and Alien. So I knew at some point there's going to be a career where I can mash them both together. My first job straight out of university was working at a games company back in '98, working on a PlayStation 1 game called Motocross Mania. I then kind of rose my career into games like Colin McRae Rally at Codemasters, then on a Nintendo game called Battalion Wars.
Keep up the good work, son.
At that point, I was doing cinematics. I'm like, who makes movies in a video game engine? Who does that? So I left the games industry to work in film. Worked on a number of films like Harry Potter, Sweeney Todd, and my big break was doing pre-visualization on a movie called The Dark Knight. Everything I learned about filmmaking was working on The Dark Knight. While I was working in visual effects as a VFX supervisor and a VFX producer, like I've got time, I decided to make a bunch of short films. One of the short films called Project Kronos, which was a fake documentary about sending a human brain out into space.
The stream was a mixture between the mission memories and the human past life memories.
It kind of went viral, got a Vimeo staff pick, and I got signed by an agent, a manager, and I made my first feature film called The Beyond.
I would suggest that this is the beginning of the future.
And then I did a show for Disney Plus called Fast Lane and another thing called Descendants. And then COVID hit. I had to stop working on films because obviously all the sets were closed, and I learned Unreal Engine. And I fell right back into video games, full circle. I ended up directing cinematics on this thing called Dune Awakening. I was the cinematics director on that for 3.5 years. When I finished that, and I'm like, you know what? I want to make my own thing. So I set up my own production company called Beyond the Pixels, and I decided to go way back to the games I loved playing as a kid, but also bring in the film cinematic universe, and that's where Astroburn is, and that's why I'm making transmedia content today.
I started off in my journey in life, always a sustainability nut, always hoping to connect people and let them be the best that they can be. And then I started working in kids' games at Nickelodeon and Disney, and there I thought, children know what it's all about. Let's move on to the adults. Let's move on to people who do need more transformation in their lives. And Started working at companies like Cybo, known for Subway Surfers, working on a lot of their live ops about environmentalism, about green nudging. And then over at Us2, working on the Monument Valley series. So Monument Valley 2's DLC, The Lost Forest, which is about forest conservation. I directed Monument Valley 3, which is a atmospheric illusion puzzler about flood disaster recovery. And now I am exploring my own games. I think we are underutilizing or underestimating how much games can actually impact people to change the world. And I like that challenge, and I think we can take on this challenge as game designers.
I do remember once when I finished high school, we were looking around sort of different computing shops to learn like what software is available to learn game development, which is where I learned like, oh, you can actually learn game dev at a college and a university level. I've had a varied career going from QA testing to lecturing, production, and trying my hand at some indie dev. I guess the benefit of me having sort of like a varied background and various interests allows me to kind of passionately discuss game development, the games industry, to a variety of different audiences.
Having that QA background and knowledge makes you, I think, in my opinion, a better designer.
I love working in games or being games adjacent, but I also love educating and promoting game development to younger people. It's one of the reasons why I love being part of Learn Break Mentorship, is to provide support to people from marginalized groups to show that you can make a difference and be a part of the games industry from various different backgrounds, as well as educate people who are working in the industry who might want to give back to the community. And myself and my team help people to take those first steps, that first journey towards being a mentor.
I have been in the industry for 5 years. Before I worked in video games, I worked in books. And while I was in books, I just felt that video games were really good at telling stories about themselves in a way that somehow we weren't doing that well. So I seconded myself to video games. My first role was at Fail Better Games as marketing manager. And I just stayed because I found the combination of all the elements of video games, the art, the storytelling, the technology, and the collaboration involved, really, I felt like I really belonged here. So I'm still here. A typical day for me involves wearing many hats. I might be working at home. I might be going to London to check out venues, to discuss partnerships for Tapestry Electric, having meetings for Games Aid, mentoring people through Limit Break or Code Coven. Every day is very different, and I kind of just take each one as I can so I don't get too overwhelmed. I do lots of different things, but the thing they have in common is creating community and looking after creative people, because I don't think that it's enough that we get to work here. I think we need to be treated really well while we do. What Ensemble did for me as kind of somebody who saw it was help kind of illuminate the industry for me and help me find confidence that I would find my place in it.
The big takeaway for me being part of this 2026 Ensemble would be that me participating in this has inspired some little kid out there who looks like me.
When I was little growing up, I just didn't see faces like mine. And the very few faces that I did see that were women were what got me into the industry for me, myself. And so if I can do that for some other young little girl, that means a lot to me.